Hello, everybody. Once again, it is Al Ernst, and it is time for another edition of our great show, Uniquely Lutheran. And you believe that we are live? We are not. We're not going to try to fool you. We're not going to try to fool you again with the idea that somehow, with all our little, did you have a great New Year? Oh, yeah, I did. I had a lot of, no, it's not going to happen that way. What we are going to tell you is that with the holiday schedules between our producer Amy, traveling of the Jeff Gross clan up to Tennessee, I believe you're going, and the traveling of myself doing stand-up comedy, we just are not going to be able to find the time through this week. Now, next week, we will be back on, and we will be back live and in person unless something breaks on another place. And I would expect we will be back in our studio because unfortunately, the day we decided to tape all this, we have found that we are running into some unusual weather. At least I don't have to put water in my pool. That is the terrible middle-class problems to have. Anyway, this is Pastor Jeff Gross, or PG now 54, when you see this, PG 54. Jeff is the pastor, the main man, the counselor, my favorite sermon you've ever done was about making an investment on when you did about the Green Bay Packers and that how we have to make investments.
And be there no mistake, I'm not a Packer fan, but I am a fan of how that whole thing works. But yeah, I'm glad you remembered that. I'm glad I left an impression.
It's still to this day, and even though we're taping this early, that was one of your early sermons. And so obviously this man is worth watching at 10 a.m. on Sunday mornings for our streaming cast, as well as the devotionals, Vine Time and Sprouts, as well as my little comedy, haha for the week from a thing called Here I Stand Up. But let us start out the new year with a new prayer.
That sounds good. Dear God, as we open up our new calendars, take off the cellophane and we start marking it off, let us always leave space for you. Let us always find time to pray and give thanks, and also to bring us to new resolutions and new adventures. And we're grateful that you brought us through this year to another, and we pray that you continue to bless us in the many years you give us. In Jesus' name.
Amen. And I know that we are a recipient of the work that God is supposed to have us be doing. And part of that is my Laughter Saves Lives tour, because somehow I believe in our political / personal climate, we have somehow really separated. And my belief, and anytime I do this job, I find that laughter does bring people, that's the one commonality. There's no translation for laughter because it doesn't need a translator. So let's when you see me in your area, please come on in. You'll enjoy the show, I promise. And I will also tell you that if you want a lot of laughter and happiness, and when I hesitate on words, it's because I think those words are thrown around too much. And one of the words I think is thrown around way too much is amazing. Everything is amazing. Everything is amazing. Amazing people. And amazing, I had an amazing grilled cheese sandwich today. And I think that then that word, like many of our words, gets so watered down that it goes in one ear and out the other.
What do you think of the word awesome?
I love awesome.
But it's used a lot.
It is used a lot, but I think awesome was the old word. I think amazing overtook awesome.
Probably.
And maybe I'm revisiting the old school on that, but maybe we can all come up with a new word that, just like when I hear somebody saying, I'm going to reach out to that person, give me a break. You're contacting them. You're going to talk to them. You're going to see them. Reaching out, makes it sound so as you can tell, my disdain for corporate speak. And I think that one is just like when we talk about brands. Yes, we all are brand. Everything, if you think about it, everything's a brand. But guess what, folks? We're people. And that's what we're first. We're just people. We're people with our own quirks and personalities. And that's just what God wanted. He didn't want a bunch of people to all be the same. And that's what makes this, dare I reference, it's day 10 of Christmas. And then after day 12, we move into my informal, non-church sanctioned time of Mardi Gras, which starts out with a big pot of gumbo. And if you know anything about gumbo, that's where a lot of stuff all comes together, and some things that you don't think belong together, like, andouille sausage and shrimp. Somehow you wouldn't necessarily put those two together, but you put that in a nice gumbo with a delicious roux, and it becomes the greatest 5 minutes of your life when you get to eat them both. So this gumbo we have of people at New Life, and you as a digital group are fabulous. You're our gumbo. You bring it all together for the perfect vibe.
Yeah, that's our new word, vibe.
I like that word. The vibe was great, and it has been great. So
Connecting to that whole generation that uses good vibes.
yeah, I like that. Now that's really going back. Good Vibrations. The boy, that was even really before me. The Beach Boys.
Oh, the Beach Boys, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure most of the kids I'm hearing saying good vibes would go to Beach Boy, wasn't if they hit him with the surfboard.
Well, the kid. Well, and the adults would only know that are younger than us, buddy. They go with Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Good Vibrations. I remember that was his one and only dance hit. That was one of those, I think, 90s or 2000s.
You mean Mark Wahlberg?
Mark Wahlberg.
You know as Marky Mark.
Yeah, formerly known as Marky Mark, and now known as an Academy Award winning. Didn't he get that he may not, when he did The Fighter with,
Oh, yeah.
oh, now,
No,
but he was nominated for an Academy Award.
I've had a Wahlburger, it's pretty delicious.
Yep, I've been to the Wahlburgers in Atlanta too. They're very, very good. Yep. So there you go, folks.
Right.
We're just gonna do it. Yeah, it goes with us. It goes right back to food, and we're gonna just do this whole business a little bit differently because we're Lutherans, by golly. And if there's one thing that Luther knew how to do, it was throw a party. Isn't that true?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, he has a whole book of table talks where he basically gets quoted at parties, saying all kinds of interesting things. So, yeah, he had a great sense of humor too. And he knew how to laugh. And so we're bringing that part of that into our tradition.
And let us say to this, that between Jeff being the grandest of one of the best parish pastors ever, and
Yeah, he does this all the time. Go ahead.
no, and with Amy being the glue that holds it all together, because
And that's true.
and that is true, because
That is true.
without, as I call her, without Amo, I'm not even sure. Well, let's just put it this way. We would be on the air, but we wouldn't know what air we were on, okay?
Right.
So she's fantastic and great, but without our little team of people that help volunteer to run things and do things and everything else, we take Jesus seriously. but we also take Jesus as a person that we can have fun and we can celebrate. So don't take any of our humor in the way that somehow we're not in tune with what is going on with faith.
We are totally. Yep.
I believe that as well. And so that's the excitement. So let's talk a little bit, because they're going to see this coming Sunday. Well, from when they see it, will be what they call the Epiphany. Well, so why don't you tell us a little bit about the Epiphany?
Well, Epiphany is a season. It's a season that lasts about 40 days. Roughly, it's about 40 days from Epiphany to Mardi Gras, or through Mardi Gras to Ash Wednesday. But it also is where really when the three wise men showed up on the 6th of January. And a lot of cultures call this the day of the celebration of the three kings. Some cultures that don't have Santa Claus or Papa Noel,
Right?
will have the wise men bring them presents and leave them under their bed.
Really?
In a box, yeah. And it's always, one of the great things about Christmas is it's a cross-cultural event. Every culture celebrates it a little differently. And so for a lot of people in different parts of the world, the Christian world, Christmas is a great big deal, but the presents really come on January 6th. And so it's kind of that time, just the day that the wise men brought gold, frankincense, and myrrh to Jesus. That's really what January 6th is.
Try to get a kid to have patience. To say, we're going to do this exactly the way the Bible did it. So you're still going to have to look at it.
Until midnight on Christmas Eve, are you kidding?
So,
12 more days? Forget it.
so why is the Epiphany 40 days? What is that? What does that symbolize?
Actually, the movable feast is not Epiphany. Epiphany varies. Epiphany varies from roughly, in fact, you know what, I don't even know how many days it is, but it basically will last until March.
Well, actually, yeah, because we have a late, and that'll come on other episodes. I would love to know what the story is behind how Easter and those dates are determined, since, we always have December 25th and certain things happen always on a specific day, but yet Easter can come as early as, I've seen it as early, as the middle of March.
Sure.
And as late as we're going to have it in 2022, which is, I believe, like April 18th or 17th or something like that.
And the other thing too, really just a quick side note to our friends in the Russian Orthodox Church, January 6th is Christmas.
Wow.
They celebrate Christmas when we celebrate Epiphany. So there's kind of that layover, lap over. We switched calendars a few times. We're in the Julian calendar. We're now in the Gregorian calendar. The solstice always plays a role into when Christmas was determined. And now we've all kind of come to a place where the last day of Christmas is January 5th.
Wow. Well, we have we still have some great celebrating and some planning, and also some definitive action to get started. And we hope during that season of Epiphany, I would believe that we are probably not only going to be installing you formally, which to me, I'm really glad we're celebrating that, but obviously you have been officially with us since July. And it only, because we have to work up the corporate church ladder, it only takes a good 7 months to actually,
Yeah. And some of it is we wanted to make sure our winter people were here too.
Well, this is true.
I
So,
didn't want them to show up and surprise.
yeah, he's still here. What happened? We thought we only were going to have him 1 year. So, but we are excited about that celebration. We're excited about what we're going to either call a retreat, workshop, meeting, something to try to identify some vision for our future. And that will be taking place early in the year. And then based on that, it will be really setting a direction of emphasis for this church.
And not only is that workshop, retreat, whatever you call it, is an opportunity to talk about where we like to go, what we like to do, but also to celebrate where we've been and what we're doing well. So there's so many things for us I like to accentuate our positive.
Absolutely.
I like to accentuate. You hear the story of the kid who got a D in math and an A in English, and he winds up getting a C in math and a C in English. You don't want to grow at the expense of something. You don't want to get strong at the expense of strength you already have. So that's kind of the neat trick that I always like to keep in mind. I don't want to lose our strengths in order to address our challenges.
Well, and also we want you to know, you hear the idea of retreat and or workshop, we're not going out, we're not spending the night anywhere. You don't bring your sleeping bag. It's gonna be it's a very focused time, but it is not asking you for a huge commitment of your, just a part of a day, possibly like a Saturday or something like that.
It's mostly fun. Yeah, it really is.
All right. Well, that is great. And with that, we will kind of do a little bit of abbreviated version of that. And that now we are into the new year. We will be back with you actually live and in person next Tuesday. And yes, believe it or not, we are going to continue this digital ministry, as we now like to call it. I love that, because I think we got a great vibe of people out there. And let us know, help us by favoring us on Facebook. I hear that on everything, and that's the only reason I don't say it. But obviously, if we can get up to over 100 subscribers on our YouTube channel, that gives us a bunch of other advantages to get the word out the same way with Facebook. And please just tell your friends. You don't have to get up if you don't want to and watch it then. But our numbers from the past Sunday service were minimal. At the beginning, I was in Jacksonville, Florida, and by the time I had driven back to Sarasota, they had exponentially gone up, like 10 times to the exponential. So we're beginning to really reach to that new threshold that I like to say that we're going to get. So any other words, Jeff, for you?
Not yet.
I'm sure there's going to be some good ones.
No,
Folks, I am Al Ernst. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas last day. Say hi to the Kings as they roll by your house. And you have been watching Uniquely Lutheran.